Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is your Akazaki Yahoo, and I start this broadcast as I would start any broadcast by first of all giving all praise, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, Yahushua Hamashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say shalom, wabarukim, that is peace and blessings, and I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation under the Most High power, under one covenant. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, indeed. I've joined this evening by my most esteemed Akinanaya. Shalom, Aki.
Hey, shalom, shalom, Maki. Shalom, shalom, family.
Hallelujah. I don't know why I was about to
You
mess
got
that up.
excited, huh? You got excited.
Well, I was
A
trying to
lot going
update.
on.
Yeah, I was trying to somehow the Ak was off of your name and I was putting it back. And yeah, I think I sidetracked myself. There we go. There we go. I was putting it back there. Okay, con. So, yeah, so we are at the end of the first book of Samuel. We're going to pick up chapter 26 and finish through 31 this evening. And so tomorrow we will begin Second Samuel, and we'll go through that. Not completely, but we'll do about 5 chapters there and continue in our reading and understanding of this truth. So, all praises to the Most High. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Kind. Yes, indeed. All right. So this is the book of First Samuel, chapter 26, and verse number 1. It says, David again spares Saul. So, kind of summarizing where we were last week. Um, so Shaul had went way off and did a whole bunch of killing, wiped out a whole city of priests and their wives and their children and their animals. I don't even like to mention animals, but the scripture does mention it. But just to show the basically the rampage that he was on, and he came to a second city, and I was thankful that he didn't do the same thing there. Um, David confronted him, and I thought he really came to his senses, but he's dug himself such a ditch that at the end of it all, he's going to have to pay a heavy price because
Yeah, come.
he's really set himself up. So, uh, and again, these things that are written before time were written for our learning.
That's
So
right.
definitely got to learn from these situations and not just read this as some kind of a tale of some sort, something of that nature. So um, let's go ahead. Chapter verse 1. It says, and the Zephonites came to Shaul to Gibeah, came unto Shaul to Gibeah, saying, do not David hide himself in the hills of Hek, Hakula,
Hakalah.
Hakala, which which is before uh, Yeshimon, Yeshimon,
Yes, Simone. Mm-hmm.
Yeshimon, Yeshimon. Khan. Now, we familiar with these Hakula and
I
Yeshimon?
want to say we did see Hakalah, but I don't remember what they mean.
Okay, well, let's take a quick look here. Um, Gibeah, I know we're familiar with. Uh, Hekula, yeah, Khan. I do remember seeing that dark. Seems like I remember seeing that a hill in the southern Judea or Yehuda, the edge of the wilderness in Ziph. I don't know. Well, yeah, we did see that in 15. So let's go ahead and check out Yeshimon here. Yesimon, Moni, Yesimoni. Waste, wilderness, desert, desolate place. So like I do remember, recall that one too. So yeah, we saw that back in Numbers. All
Mm-hmm.
right, so never heard to refresh. So, all right, verse 2. Then Shaul arose and went down to the wilderness of Zeph. Did we see that? No.
Ziph. Oh,
Okay, so we'll continue here. Yeah, we'll look at that one as well. Having 3,000 chosen men of Israel with him to seek David in the wilderness of Ziph. Now, ironically, David has spared his life, and rather than him saying, you know what, that's enough with dealing with David. We just need to be friends. We just need to be cool, and I'm gonna let him do him, and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. You know, I don't even know if he understands that Yahuwah is not even with him. Yahuwah is in fact against him. Uh, but I don't know if he really understands this is Ziph, and it means battlement.
Yeah, and it's like, in the previous chapter, or maybe a previous chapter before that, we read about Shaul pretty much repenting and
Yeah,
telling Dawid that he's been more righteous than
right,
him.
exactly.
So,
So
why
it
is he
seemed
still
like he
pursuing him?
It seemed like he would be on the right path now. You know what I'm saying? But
Khan.
yeah, he got 3,000 men. Going down to the field of battle. Ziph, which is what Ziph means. So,
Hmm.
verse 3. And Shaul pitched in the hill of Ha- Haklarah, which is before Yeshimon, by the way. But David abode in the wilderness, and he saw that Shaul came after him into the wilderness. And David therefore set out spies and understood that Shaul was come in the very will come in very deed was come in very deed. What does that mean? Come in very deed. Let's see what this deed is. Kum, which is to be firm. Okay, so he came
Uh-huh.
to be firm. Okay, con. I think we did look at that before because the way they use it seems strange, but it's that
And
old
but
English.
it makes sense because he's got 3,000 choice
Hmm.
men of Israel with him,
Hmm.
so
Con.
they're not coming peaceably. You know what I
No,
mean?
no. These men, it takes you back to Jacob coming, coming,
Mm-hmm.
and Esau meeting him with 400 men. That's like, wow, you coming with your family, and this dude got 400 men. I think that's about the number that we got, about 400, 300 to 400, uh, and because he had the ones that was disgruntled. I didn't mention that
Indeed,
in the
and
kind of
and
recap.
in debt. Yep.
Yeah, kind. Yeah, we read that last week. Didn't mention that in the recap. So, verse 5. And David arose and came to the place where Shaul had pitched, and David beheld the place where Shaul lay, and Abner, the son of Ner, the captain of the host, and Shaul laid in the trench, uh, and the people pitched around him, round about him. So he's in the trench, and the people are around him. So he's surrounded. So he's protected, which is you know normal for the king. But the king should be at the palace taking care of the people instead of out here hu- hunting for David. Not
Khan.
sensible, not sensible. But again, these things are written aforetime are written for our learning. So, verse 6. Then answered David and said to
Ahimelech, my
Ahimelech,
brother is king.
Khan. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that from last week. Hallelujah. Todahaki. The Hittite. So this Ahimelech is a Hittite.
Mm-hmm.
And to Abashah,
Abishai,
Abishai, the son of Zu, Zerua,
Zeruah.
Zerua. Kind. Yeah, these names get me almost every time. Brother to Abner, saying, so they got brother to Joab, saying, I don't know where I saw Abner right
I
there.
don't know where they came from either.
I mean, I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't Abner. Joab, like it. I be tripping.
That's who took Abner's life.
Right, exactly. My goodness. Uh, who will go down with Shaul to the camp? And Abishai said, I will go down with you. So David and Abishai came to the people by night, and behold, Shaul lay sleeping within the trench, and his spear, see that child, the spear this time,
Mm-hmm.
not a javelin, and his
Khan.
spear stuck in the ground at his bo- bolster, at his bolster. But Abner and the people lay round about him. So let's see what that bolster is. In these old English terms, where it is.
I want to say it's like at the head of where he laid at. like a
Okay, kind.
bolster of a bed.
Okay, kind.
Mura'asha,
More Asha.
Mura'ash. Yeah, I think
More Asha. I think yeah, I think you hit it on the head. Yeah, place at the head, Dominion head place, kind. So I think you got it on that. Good call out on that one. That's one I'm not as familiar with. So verse 8, it says, then said Abishai to David, the Most High have delivered thine enemy into thine hand this day. Now therefore, let me smite him, I pray you, with the spear, even in the earth, at once, and I will not smite him the second time. He's like, I can take him with one shot with that spear. I can grab that spear and just put him straight to death. That's just one shot. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
All your troubles are gone. Let's see what David says. David. Verse 9. And David said to Abishai, destroy him not, for who can stretch forth his hand against you who is anointed and be guiltless? So he's still counting him as a set apart man of the Most High. But the Most High, see, we haven't gone to Samuel yet and understood where his place is. But we're familiar with the story and how it ends out. So
Yeah, kind.
yeah,
But you know, it
that's
just again this speaks to the heart of
David.
Dawid, because
Kind.
I've had friends in the past encourage me to do things that we all know are wrong. You
Right.
know.
Yeah, right. And and here's the thing, because Shaul has not hesitated. He's already what, three times
Yeah.
thrown the spear at David. So he's sought his life these times. Now I'm trying to remember. Didn't he go? Didn't David go and ask for to seek counsel? And basically, the council of the Most High said he needed to leave because
Mm-hmm.
Shaul was going to kill him. Because if he didn't get away, then Shaul would have killed him.
Yeah,
So
kind.
Shaul was determined to get rid of David, and even trying to convince his son, who was David, they're like best friends. He's even tried to convince his son and his wife, who is his daughter, uh, that David got to go.
Yeah, kind.
And yeah, kind. So, verse 10, David said, furthermore, as Yahuwah liveth, Yahuwah shall smite him, or his day shall come to die, or he shall descend into battle and perish. So he's saying, yeah, it's not going to be our hands that's going to do this. It's going to be somebody else that's going to handle this for the most, because we will not be guilty, which is really, I think, more than reasonable. But I don't know. It's hard to say. I would hate to get into it. I would hate to get into a situation like this because would you got to defend yourself at the same time, but man, you don't want to have to move your hand against your brother, especially if the Most High was dealing with him at all. I mean, the Most High set him to be handpicked him to be king
Yeah,
through
kind.
Samuel. So I definitely understand where he's coming from, but man, this is a hard place, a rock and a hard place. Verse 11. Yahuwah forbid that I should stretch forth my hand against Yahuwah's anointed. But I, but I pray you, take you now the spear that is at his bolster and the curse of the water, and let us go. So he like take his spear and uh and the curse of the water. So is he saying take his water as well?
Hmm.
And the curse of the water, and let
I'm
us
not
go.
sure what they mean by that.
That curse of the water. Let's
Curse
see
of the
what it's
water.
saying. Let's see what it is in the Hebrew. It's probably just the word for curse.
Ziz,
Sapata.
zip, yeah, zapakaf,
Oh,
zapakaf.
sapata. Jug, jar jug for liquids.
Hmm.
So I guess that's what that is. It's a jug. Take his jug of water. Kind of makes sense. So
Mm-hmm.
take his spear and his water too. We need that water.
Yeah, kind.
Yeah. All right. Verse 12. So David took the spear and the curse from water from Shaul's bolster, and they gathered them away, and they got them away, and no man saw it, nor knew it, neither awakened, neither awaked, for they were all asleep, because the deep because a deep sleep from Yahuwah had fallen upon them. So Yahuwah made them really go. So he's with David. I mean, we see
Mm-hmm.
that. He's always been with David. That's how he
Con.
was able to deal with that bear and that lion, and with
Mm-hmm.
Goliath, and
Indeed.
yeah, everything else, and evade Shaul. That's how he's been able to do everything that he's done so far. Yes, I'm.
Now, I was thinking like just pretty much what you just said.
Mm-hmm,
We don't hear about that story about him taking on the bear and the lion, but we saw how he approached the battle with Goliath. You know
mm-hmm.
what I mean? Wasn't
Con,
no fear in him, and that was the spirit of the Most High being upon him.
con. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Verse 13. Then David went down to the other side and stood on the top of the hill afar off, a great space between them. And David cried to the people and to Abner, the son of Ner, saying, Answereth you not, Abner? Then Abner answered and said, Who are you that crieth to the king? And David said unto Abner, Are not you a valiant man? And like who is like to you in Israel?
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore then uh, wherefore then have you not kept my master the king? For there came one of the people to destroy the king, my master. This thing is not good that you have done. As Yahuwah liveth, you are worthy to die, because you have not kept your master, Yahuwah's anointed. And now see there the king's spear is. See where the king's spear is, and the curse of water that was in his bolster. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I got the spear and the water, sucker. You ain't doing your
Con.
job.
Right, right,
He called him out.
right.
Verse 17. And Shaul knew David's voice and said, It is the voice of my son David. And David said, It is the voice of my master, O king. And he said, Wherefore do my master pursue after his servant? For what have I done? Or what evil is in my hand? Say, look, that took me right to Hamashiach.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they were bent on destroying him, and what evil had he done? You know what I'm saying? And
Con.
I think he said that a few times before. Like, what have I done?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Talking about the Pharisees.
hmm,
You all accuse me,
good,
calling me a devil, that I do these things in the devil, but look at my acts that I'm doing. You know what I
exactly,
mean? Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and we see a great parallel right here as we read in this 26th book of first book of Samuel, 26th chapter, the first book of Samuel here, verse 19. Let's continue. It says, Now therefore I pray you, my master, the king, hear the words of his servant. If Yahuwah have stirred up you, slick, have stirred you up against me, let him accept an offering. But
Mm-hmm.
if they be the children of men, cursed be they before Yahuwah, for they have driven me out this day from abiding in the inheritance of Yahuwah, saying, Go, serve idols. Now therefore, let my blood fall to the earth before the face of Yahuwah, for the king of Israel is come out to seek a flea, as when one doeth hunt a a
Partridge.
partridge. I was gonna say pear or something. I don't know where I was trying to break that word down. A partridge in the mountain. That's a bird, right?
Yeah, come.
Yeah, one do a hunt a partridge and a bird. Yeah, I remember that from that show, the TV show when we was little. Partridge Family.
Mm-hmm.
verse
Indeed.
verse 21. uh, verse 21. Then said Shaul, "Look, he's doing it again." But is he gonna stop? No, he gonna continue. Then said Shaul, "I have sinned. Return, my son David, for I have no more do you harm. For I will no more do you harm, because my soul was uh was mm, precious in your eyes. This day, behold, I have played the fool and have erred exceedingly." That's exceedingly is a understatement,
Indeed, indeed.
a great understatement. And look, was he okay? Let's continue here. But I'm wondering, is he just trying to lure David to for the sake of destroying him, or is he saying this in sincerity? Like, man, he didn't have the opportunity to kill you 2 times.
Yeah, and but when we first come into this chapter here,
Mhm.
it wasn't him that said I'm gonna go seek go after Dawid. He was encouraged to do so by these other people. It's like, is not, this man that you seek, is he not here? Let's go get
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
And he's always, we heard about him being fearful of the people, and not slaughtering all of
mm,
the animals of Amalek.
Amalek.
You know what I mean? He's
Right.
always worried about what people say rather than doing the right thing.
Well, what? Yeah, yeah, kind. And yeah, sadly, in that situation, it is because of them. It is because of him that the people are even mentioning David. It's him that said, "David is my enemy, and I will pursue him to death, and I will
Hmm.
do." It's him that did that. The people didn't say, "Man, David, your enemy. You need to be killing him." You know
Right,
what I'm
right.
saying? They getting that from him. So he's the one steering this ship, and now it's going in a direction that I mean, I'm wondering, is he sincere in what he's saying, or now is he just feeling like he just got to go along to get along? So um, let's go ahead and verse 22. It says, "And David answered and said, Behold, the king's spear, and let one of your young men come over and fetch it." Yahuwah reminded, Yahuwah rendered to every man his righteousness and his faithfulness, for Yahuwah delivered you into my hand today. But I have not stretched forth my hand against Yahuwah's anointed. So he's saying Yahuwah gave you to me, but I didn't even take it because of what he did with you. I
Hmm.
mean, he's telling it like, man, I done had a chance to take your head twice, and I have not done it. That's reason enough for you to back up and say, man, I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? But verse 24, and behold, as your life was was much set by this day in my eyes, so let my life be much set by the eyes of Yahuwah, and let him deliver me out of all tribulation. That's a beautiful prayer there. Let him deliver me out of all tribulation.
Hmm.
Verse 25. Then Shaul said to David, Blessed be you, my son David. You shall you shall both do great things and shall prevail and shall still prevail. So David went his way, and Shaul returned to his palace, his place. Should be palace, but his place. Yeah, man. I mean, it's really sad that he's really he just can't get out of his own way. Just so like you running wrong, and yet you can't even. It's like Pharaoh. You know, the Most High hardened Pharaoh's heart. It's almost
Hmm.
like he's doing it to Shaul here.
God.
Because Shaul decided to go. I mean, killing that city. Actually, I still can't believe that, man. That's hard. That's hard to swallow. I can't imagine going into a city of your own people, where your priests reside, and you kill everybody, the women, the
Uh,
children, and the priests,
and
and all
God,
the. I mean, that's a level of wickedness I can't understand.
and allowing it to be done by the hands of someone who hates us.
Yeah,
You know,
the
it was
Edomite. Yeah,
yeah,
he hate.
Edo, I think.
Yeah,
Or not Edo, but what was his name?
something. Go ahead.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
The Edomite. Yeah,
Yep.
I was like, man. Yeah, that was filthy in itself. Uh, where he killed those. That was like, what's that? Two priests, the ones that gave David and his men
And their household. It was
yeah.
only
And
one of them that survived.
oh yeah, because he was 70. Now I
Yep.
remember he killed 70 of them, of our people in that situation. And then, man, don't get me going on that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, see, that's what I was talking about. The hole that he has dug. He's dug himself a great hole, and uh, I'm really surprised that the spirit of the Most High didn't come on David to go ahead and put him down, because his man was like, "Hey, I'll handle it. It'll only be one shot. I'll take care of it." That's what we just read,
God.
and then he was like, "Nah, it's gonna happen in a different way. It's not gonna happen by my hand. It's not gonna happen by my command. So I'm not gonna have that on me," which makes sense. Which makes a lot of sense, but. He went over there to the Philistines and took 200
Right, right.
foreskins for his wife and Kai. So let's go ahead. First Samuel chapter 27, verse number 1. David flees to the Philistines. So now he didn't kill 200. Look, I just mentioned him killing 200. Now he's going to where they are. So verse 1. And David said in his heart, I shall not. I shall now perish one day by the hand of Shaul. There is nothing better for me that I should expediently escape unto the land of the Philistines, and Shaul shall depart, uh, and Shaul shall depart of me, my Saleka, shall despair of me to seek me any more in the coast of Israel. So shall I escape out of his hand. So yeah, he's like, if I get to the Philistines, he's not gonna go over there because he's scared of them. He should be scared of you. I mean, he should be scared of Yahuwah, really. That's really where his fear should begin.
God.
He don't want to go against the Philistines because he know the Philistines will smite him. But uh, if he really understood who David was, he wouldn't be dealing with him in this manner. So, verse 2. And David arose and passed over with 600 men. Oh, he's up to 600 now. Uh, that were with him unto Achish, the son of Amocha.
my my oak. My oak.
Well, I say Amo. I put A before M. My goodness. Maok, king of Goth. So, man, I guess it's a respect thing because David is basically coming here and completely smashed them. You know what I'm saying? And now when they see him, they just kind of like marvel at him, like, "Wow, this dude is amazing."
God.
To do what he's done. Uh, Akish, uh, I will blacken or terrify, or only a man, king of
Yeah.
Philistine.
Yeah, I
Uh,
want to say we saw that before.
okay, con. Okay, I think
I
son
don't
of.
remember seeing my oak though.
Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking about, but I was talking and distracted myself. Yeah, my oak oppression. Wow, refuse. Yep, first time. Khan. Okay. Yeah, yeah. We're familiar with Gath, so let's continue. Verse 3. And David dwelled in Achish at Gath, he and his men, every man with his household, even David with his two wives, and Anamah, Anamah, Anamam,
Ainom,
Anamam,
Ainom,
I know, and Yezerith, Yezerelis,
Yezreelites.
Yezerelitis, Slakia. Adonam the Yezreelites, and Abigail the Carmelis, Carmel, Carmelis, uh, Nabal's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Verse 4. And it was told Shaul that David had fled to Goth, and he sought him, and he sought no more after him. So he did exactly what. So I guess that's the Most High, giving him this insight because he knew that Shaul wasn't gonna come to Goth.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's amazing to think, you go over there and slay so many of them. Now you there, and the king just look at you like, "Hey, how's it going?"
That's
Like
wild. That's
we
wild.
we cool, like we cool. You're not here for no beef. But, oh, you got 600 men with you. Oh well, we cool. You need some bread. You need some water.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Verse 5. And David said to Achish, uh, if I have now found grace in your eyes, let me get let them give me a place in some town in the country that I may dwell there. For why should they serve? So why should your servant dwell in the royal city with you? Like, look, I'm a servant. This is your place, and I'm just trying to be humble. So give me a town in the country, on the suburbs. Let me go out there and dwell with my people. I don't want to be here in your city, cramping your style.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 6. Then Achish gave him Ziklag that day, wherefore Ziklag pertained unto the kings of Yehuda unto this day. So man, take that and it's yours. We'll never come over there again.
That's wild.
I mean, look at the favor that the Most High have given him. You know what
Con.
I'm saying? Like that's beautiful.
That's the word too. I'm gonna cause your enemies to to bless you. I might be misquoting that, but
Right. He was, I will
you
bless
know.
them that bless you. That's what he told to Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
And this Achish is looking for a barakah from Yahuwah. And his barakah is David not gonna fall on his neck
Yeah,
and,
con.
and take his foreskin.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Mutilate
right,
them.
exactly. Verse 7. Verse 7. And the time that David dwelt in the country of the Philistines was a full year and 4 months. So he was there for 16 months. Wow. Wow. And yeah, and that land it became a part of Israel. So that
Mm-hmm.
land of the Philistines now not only is it a part of Israel, it's going to be a part of the kings uh, because what David is going to end up at. But man, this is amazing reading his journey. It's so in depth. It's so much, and it's so many moving parts and pieces. It's like wow. Verse 8. And David and his men went up and invaded the Gergesites and the Gerasites and the Amalekites. For those nations were of old in were of the old inhabitants of the land, as you go to Shur, even to the land of Mizraim. And David smote the land and left neither man nor woman alive, and took away the sheep and the oxen, and the donkeys, and the camel, and the apparel, and returned and came to Achish. So look,
Wow.
David and that putting in work. So he ain't sitting back on his behind just chilling for for these 16 months. You know, he went and I'm gonna handle these ones. He killed the men and the women. Like I don't want this dirty woman. Smite her with the sword. Verse 10. And Achish said, "Rather have you made a road today?" So rather have you made a road today? And David said, against the south of Yehuda and against the south of uh,
The
Ye-
Yerahmeelites.
Yerahmeelites. I don't remember them.
Mm-mm.
And against the south of the Kenites. Kenites.
And that was,
Kenites.
that was Caleb and them. Yeah.
Kind. Yeah. Well, I guess so he made a road, so that mean you know, that's where they was going. Um, let's check this out right quick. Yera my Ali
Ali Khan.
Khan. All right. See Yermiel
Mm-hmm.
may the Most High have pity, descendant of Yermiel, great grandson of Yehuda. Hmm. So you go into the way back, got great grandson. So that got to be one of those children from that Canaanite woman.
Yeah, Khan.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Cause this,
hold on. Great grandson. So
well, not the woman herself. I'm saying the division of the descendant of that,
yeah,
because
yeah,
that's what he had
Khan
his children
indeed.
with. Yeah.
Yep.
So okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
Khan.
that's the first time we see that. Matter of fact, I didn't even go all the way down there, but yeah, that's the first time we see that.
Seems
First
like they would have been
mention.
Israelites though.
Yeah, yeah, they should have, but obviously they probably took those customs, those ways, and not the way of Yahuwah. So they like, look, these Smiths, nice. So are these ones from okay, a tribe in which the father-in-law of Moshe was numbered, in which they lived in the area between southern Palestine and the Mount of Seir or Sinai. Salakia, Sinai. Look, I'm trying to put Esau in there, Seir, but the Sinai is the same thing. Not the same thing, but same area.
Maybe this wasn't Caleb and them
Caleb
or
people,
Caleb's.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, uh, yeah. And it's tricky because you get used to seeing one thing, and then it can change up on you, which is why you got to be, definitely got to be, watching it because it can definitely
Mm-hmm.
change. Verse 11, and David saved neither man nor woman alive to bring tidings to Goth, saying, least they should tell on us, saying,
Wow.
so did David, and so will be his manner all the while that he dwell in the country of the Philistines. And Achish believed David, saying, he have made his people Israel uh, utterly to abhor him. Therefore, therefore, he shall be my servant forever. Like, oh, he gonna be over here. So I wonder, did he want him taking care of those other people in the land? Like, cause now, you like you got this great gunman, this great sword walking around, and not only that, he got 600 people with him, and not only that, he got the Most High with him. So they go up against their enemies, like your enemies, their enemies, or it would seem like the Philistines would be cool with those, 'cause those were Canaanites that we was reading.
To me, the way that reads, he says the Israel shall surely hate him,
Hmm.
and he's gonna be with me forever. So like, why would the Israelites hate him? It's because he just took the sword to him.
Oh no, 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 no. So you were taking, okay.
And Achish believed Dawid, saying, he hath made his people Israel utterly to abhor him. Therefore he shall be my servant forever. Why would they abhor? Why would they hate him? Because
Well,
he
I
had
th- I think that's the reason that he's there. I think he's speaking to the reason that he's there. He's
Ah,
in
okay.
the land of the Philistines because he's having problems at home. So he's seeking refuge here. That's why he was willing to give him that land, that suburb or that country land, and you know what I'm saying. So he was there. It was stated he was there for 14 months or 14 months. He was there, yeah, 14 months. So almost a year and a half. So so those ones so you were thinking that these ones that he fell
Yeah,
on
like
was
yeah, I'm thinking that those well, I know that those the Geshurites and the Gezerites and the Amalekites are I know that those are Canaanites, right?
okay,
But
kind.
I don't know, because we just read that the Canaanites are are not Israel. I'll say that. You know, I'm not sure if they were Canaanites because Moses' father-in-law was, wasn't a Canaanite. You know, he was
But you know what though? When we look at this,
Geshuri.
Geshuri, uh, Geshurites, see Gesher,
Hmm.
inhabitants of Gesher. Ah, they didn't do good at giving us this definition. A Gesherite, also collective of inhabitants of Gesher. So yeah, I was thinking the Gergesites, the Canaanites. That's what I was
Hmm.
thinking about. But when you think about it, well, let's check out Devarim 3. Your son of Manasseh took all the country of
Argob.
Argob unto the coast of Geshuri. Huh. See, I was thinking this was the Gergesites, the those one of those 7 nations. That's what I was thinking, but no, this is something else.
Hmm.
So you might be right. You might be right. I was thinking I had a completely different reading that. I had a completely different where are those other names at? I want to check those out now that we looking at this. Here it is. Gezeri,
Gizri.
a piece of portion as cut off. Inhabitants of Gezer. See, I was thinking these were the Gershonites. This is the first place
Uh,
we see this in
and
27.
we don't hear about him anymore because he
Wow, because he
utterly
wiped
destroyed
them
him.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you might be. I think you're right, Doc, because I was thinking again these are those Canaanites, but like they should be cool with the Canaanites because they would be family. You
Right.
know, even though they from Israel, but I guess not really, but kind of, but
Yeah,
not
now that I'm
really.
thinking about it, it's probably always been like a rival between those
Yeah,
Philistines and then those native Canaanites, you know?
right, kind. And they always was against the Israelites.
Yeah.
So we know who the Amalekites are. We don't have to look at that, but huh, interesting. Okay, let's continue. All right, verse 28. Shaul and the spirit medium. So this is where he goes off, and this is
Hmm.
the last straw, basically, that Yahuwah going to tolerate from him. Um, verse 1, First Samuel chapter 28 and verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that the Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare to fight with Israel. And Achish said unto David, knoweth you assuredly that you shall go out with me to battle, you and your men. Now this way he crossed the line. Like, oh, you want
Hmm.
to go? You want me to go fight against Israel with you? Are you out of your doggone mind? Verse 2.
Con.
And David said to Achish, surely surely you shall know what your servant can do. And Achish said to David, therefore I will make you keeper of my head forever. Like I'll make you the keeper of mine head forever. So basically, it sounds like he's saying, "I'll make you the head of my army, keeper
Hmm.
of my head." Like basically, I'll make you the head of my. I'll give you a top position. So I'm guessing like basically his general. Uh, verse 3. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Shaul had put away those that had familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. So he got rid of everybody who was dealing with enchantments and all that wickedness. He got rid of all of that. Now I don't recall who took Samuel's place, prophet
Nathan,
wise. Nathan, okay, Khan,
Nathan,
okay,
and Gad.
Khan, okay, Khan, okay. So I'm sure we're gonna either get that to the either here or in the next few chapters here. We'll see them coming about. I imagine. Verse 4. Well, probably not because Shaul had to go to to the witch. But let's
Mm-hmm.
continue. And the Philistines gathered themselves together and came and pitched in Sharim. And Shaul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in uh, Gilboa. Now I'm thinking, reading this, we get the Philistine king asking David to go against the children of Israel in battle with him. This was avoidable if he would have just killed Shaul.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm like, man, he didn't kill Shaul these two times that Yahuwah had delivered him into his hand. Rather than him do that, if these were Israelites that he wiped out, hopefully these were some terrible Israelites and not, you know, regular. I can't imagine. You be like, hey, there go David, and then he smites you with a sword. Like
Right, and we
what?
don't even get a backstory like if there was prior beef.
Nothing.
Uh,
I mean,
yeah, maybe
just
maybe I'm wrong, guy. Maybe I'm
I.
wrong, man.
It'd be interesting. I'd love to get some, you know what I'm saying, some more information on it. I mean, maybe it'll go into it in these future books, but we'll see. Verse 5. Maybe, talk more extensively about it in Chronicles or something. So we'll get there.
Con.
Yeah, we'll get there. Verse 5. And when Shaul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. So Shaul, this has been his MO from the beginning. Verse 6. And when Shaul inquired of Yahuwah, Yahuwah answered him not, neither by dream, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Then
What's that
said Shaul,
Urim, Mark?
oh, Khan, yeah, let's look at that. I didn't even think about that. I'm thinking that's got to be
Vision of something?
Orim, lights,
Hmm.
stones kept in the pouch of the high priest's breastplate, used to de- determining the Most High's decision for certain questions and issues.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
yeah, this is some stuff that we probably would look crazy about right now. Like, but
Yeah.
this is apparently something that they was doing back then. So, verse 7. Then said Shaul unto his servants, seek me a woman that have a familiar spirit, a familiar ruach, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said unto him, behold, there is a woman that have familiar spirits at Endor, at Endor. Now, let's check out this Endor. But yeah, so he got them up out of the land. But it's funny he said uh, a woman. I wonder why he said a woman and not a man.
Hmm.
I know that make you to make you think like that. Like, why
Yeah.
would he do that? If it's a strength thing, maybe. Uh, Ador,
Andor.
Endor, Endori, maybe. Fountain of Dor, a place in the territory of Issachar, yet possessed by Manasseh, located 4 miles or 6.5 kilometers north of Tobar, a place of residence of the spirits. What is this? Spiritus?
Spiritus.
Okay, Spiritus consult by King Shaul. So yeah, let's continue. Uh, verse 8. And Shaul disguised himself and put on other raiment, and he went, and two men with him. And they came to the woman by night and said, I pray you, divine unto me by the similar by familiar spirit, and bring him up, whom I shall name unto you. And the woman said unto him, Behold, you knowest what Shaul have done, how he have cut those off that have familiar spirits and wizards out of the land. Wherefore then layest you this snare for my life, to cause me to die. And Shaul swore to her by Yahuwah, saying, there you go. I mean, again, I said at the beginning, this is the last line. He gonna be at the cross. And you
Mm-hmm.
see what he does. He swore by Yahuwah,
Mm.
saying, As Yahuwah liveth, there shall no punishment happen to you for this thing. So Yahuwah's law says, suffer not a witch to live. And you
Mm-hmm.
tell this woman, uh, as Yahuwah live, no punishment shall happen unto you for doing what I'm telling you to do, which is conjure up a spirit, something that a witch would do. He can't understand how off this is.
Right.
I mean, man, he did it to himself. He did it to himself.
Indeed. Indeed.
He really did, man. He really did. Verse 11. Then said the woman, Whom shall I bring up unto you? And he said, Bring me up Shemuel. Or what we say, Shemuel?
Shemuel.
Shemuel. Shemuel. Sorry, I'm gonna get his name right. Um, this great man of the Most High at that time. Verse 12. And when the woman saw Shemuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Shaul, saying, Why have you deceived me? For you are Shaul. And the king said unto her, Be not afraid, for what sawest you? And the woman saw, and the woman said unto Shaul, I saw idols ascending out of the earth. And he said unto her, What form is he of? And she said, An old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Shaul perceived that it was Shemuel, and stooped his face, and he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself. Why was you bowing to Shemuel? Because it's a spirit.
Man,
This is just
Shaul is lost. You know what I
he's
mean?
off on so many levels. I mean, he's so,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, he way out there, way out there. Verse 15. And Shemuel said unto Shaul, Why have you disquieted me to bring me up? And Shaul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and the Most High have departed from me, and answered me not, and answered me no more, neither by prophet nor by dreams. Therefore I have called you, that you may make it known unto me what I should do. Then said Samuel, Wherefore, uh, wherefore then do you ask of me, seeing Yahuwah have departed from you, and is become your enemy? Man, that is the worst news that you can ever receive.
Right.
Yahuwah have departed from you and has become your enemy. I just
Mm.
imagine the feeling that must have came over him when he said that.
Sickness.
You know what I'm saying?
I'd
Literal,
be sick.
literally, like you like vomit. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like, oh my goodness. Verse 17. And Yahuwah have done to him as he spake of by me. For Yahuwah have rent the kingdom out of your hand and given it to your neighbor, even David. So he telling them David got the kingdom. the kingdom of Israel, not even the kingdom to come in the end. He's talking about the kingdom of Israel, the two,
Mm-hmm.
the south and the north. Verse 18, because you obeyed not the voice of Yahuwah, neither executed his fierce wrath upon Amalek. Therefore have Yahuwah done this thing unto you this day. Moreover, Yahuwah also Yahuwah will also deliver Israel with you into the hand of the Philistines, and tomorrow shall you and your sons be with me. Mm,
Dum dum dum.
I know, right? Yahuwah also shall deliver the host of Israel unto the hand of the Philistines. So he gonna use the Philistines to destroy Israel. Oh my goodness, man! This is time for you to surrender. You know what I'm saying? Just give up,
Right.
man. It's your leadership has just destroyed the nation.
Indeed.
Verse 20. Then Shaul fell straightway, fell straightway all along the earth, and was sore afraid because of the words of Shemuel, and therefore Silicon, and there was no strength in him. Yeah, I imagine, for he had eaten no bread all the day, nor all the night. And not only that, I've been in those situations where you just go and you don't even eat, and then
Mm-hmm.
you realize, like, man, I ain't ate nothing today.
Mm-hmm.
And you just like feeling weak to a point where, yeah, mess around, dehydrate. Um, verse 21. And the woman came to Shaul and saw that he was sore troubled, and said unto him, Behold, thine handmaid have obeyed your voice, and I have put my life in your hand, and have hearkened unto the words which you speak unto me. Now therefore I pray you, hearken you also unto the voice of your handmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before you to and eat, that you may have strength when you go on your way. Like, hey, it's time for you to get up out of here, buddy. Let me give you some bread so you can raise on up. Verse 23. But he refused and said, I will not eat. But my servants together, but my servants together with the woman compelled him, and he hearkened unto their voice. So he arose from the earth and set up upon the bed. And the woman had a fat calf in the house, and she hastened to kill it, and took flour and kneaded it, and did bake unleavened bread thereof. So this must have been a time during the time of unleavened. I'm guessing. I
Mm.
might be wrong about that. I mean, consider we're talking that 14-month period. Um, so this is within
Mm.
that period, I'm guessing, because this is Samuel trying to get at David, and so I'm guessing that this is unleavened bread. That's why she did it, because this is an Israelite woman. Sadly, I'm guessing. Now I may be mistaken. Verse 25, and she brought it before Shaul and before his servants, and they did eat, and they rose up and went their way that night, and went away that night. Whew, man, this is something else.
You can.
So yeah, so we see these mistakes that he's made, and he's really just dug himself a hole. And yeah, you know,
And now he knows that death is looming
yeah,
and certain. You
yeah.
know.
He said, "You gonna be with me." That's what Samuel told him.
Wow.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you went against Yahuwah to find this out. You know what I'm saying? You went against the way that the Most High have set forth for us to find out that, man, you about to lose your head.
Con.
You know what I'm saying? So, uh, let's go to chapter 29 here. You can go ahead and pick this one up, Art.
Indeed, Aki.
Told out, told out.
This, this is the book of First Shemuel, chapter 29. The Philistines mistrust Dawid. Verse 1. Now the Philistines gathered together all their armies to Apek, and the Israelites pitched by a fountain which is in Jezreel.
Now, are we
And
familiar
the
with the fact there?
I want to say we have seen
Okay,
that before.
okay. Let's
Yep.
continue then. Let's go ahead.
And the masters of the Philistines passed on by hundreds and by thousands, but Dawid and his men passed on in the rearward of Achish. Then said the princes of the Philistines, what do these Hebrews here? And Achish said unto the princes of the Philistines, is not this Dawid, the servant of Shaul the king of Israel, which hath been with me these days, or these years? And I have found no fault in him since he fell into me unto this day.
Hmm.
And the prince of the Philistines were wroth with him. And the princes of the Philistines said unto him, make this fellow return, that he may go again to his place which thou hast appointed him, and let him not go down with us to battle, lest in the battle he be an adversary to us. For wherewith should he reconcile himself unto his master? Should it not be with the heads of these men? So they're telling him to go back to what was that place that they had given him?
Yeah,
Uh
I forgot the name of it, but yeah, they saying, yeah, get him up out of here because he going, we're going to fight against his people. Like that's just not a smart move. I
yeah,
mean, that's not. I mean, the king of Akish, that's a dumb move, Akish.
hey
But
Khan.
I think the only one that could really, well, in this situation, yes. But today it would make perfect sense.
Hmm.
you take you take the Negroes and put them against the Negroes, and
Right, right.
you know, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
All right. Verse 5. Is not this Dawid, of whom they sang one to another in dances, saying, Shaul slew his thousands, and Dawid his 10,000s? Then Achish called Dawid and said unto him, surely, as Yahweh liveth, thou hast been upright, and thy going out and thy coming in with me in the host is good in my sight. For I have not found evil in thee since the day of thy coming unto me unto this day. Nevertheless, the masters favored thee not. So
Yeah,
what strikes me right there, this Philistine is talking about the Most High. You
yeah.
know,
Well, I think he's speaking the language that he will speak, because you got to understand that they idol. Would they idol even require like exclusivity? Like when he say worship me only, you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
Khan, you're right.
No,
They had plural deities.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So he don't
yeah,
have a problem with, he can clearly see that David got power. Where he's getting his power from, it's got to be who he prays to,
serves.
worships, and
Yeah,
everything else. So
yeah, Khan. Good point.
yeah, okay, told on.
Verse 7. Wherefore now return and go in shalom, that thou displease not the masters of the Philistines. And Dawid said unto Achish, But I have, but what have I done? And what hast thou found in thy servant so long as I have been with thee unto this day, that I may not go fight against the enemies of my master the king? Wow.
It's a setup.
You
It's a
think
setup.
so?
Yeah, I can't. He wanted that fight too bad. He's like, wait, wait, wait. Like he giving him leave. Like you can go chill. Let's go chill. He's
Yeah.
like, no, no, I need to go. I need to be in this fight. He's
Con.
like, I'm gonna take your head, sucker.
Yeah. Yeah. Verse 9. And Achish answered and said to Dawid, I know that thou art good in my sight, as an angel of the Most High. Notwithstanding, the princes of the Philistines have said, He shall not go up with us to the battle. Wherefore now rise up early in the morning with thy master's servants that are come with thee. And as soon as ye be up early in the morning, and have light, depart. So Dawid and his men rose up early to depart in the morning, to return into the land of the Philistines. And the Philistines went up to Jezreel.
All right. Chapter 30. Almost done here.
Yeah, Con. This is the book of First Samuel, chapter 30. Dawid's victory over the Amalekites, verse 1. And it came to pass, when Dawid and his men were come to Ziklag, that was the place where they had
Yeah.
given him, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
on the
Ziklag. Yeah, that's
third
it.
day, yep, Slakia,
Oh, you good. Go ahead.
on the third day that the Amalekites had invaded the south, and Ziklag, and had smitten Ziklag and burned it with fire, and had taken the women captives that were therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away, and went on their way. So Dawid and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives, and their sons, and their daughters were taken captives.
Hmm.
Then Dawid and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep.
Mm.
And Dawid's two wives were taken captives, Ahinoam the Jezreelite, the Jezreelitess, and Abigail, the wife of Nabal the Carmelite. And Dawid was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. But Dawid encouraged himself in Yahweh his power.
Hmm.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yah indeed.
Verse 7. And Dawid said to Abiathar the priest, Ahimelech's son, I pray thee, bring me hither the ephod. And Abiathar brought thither the ephod to Dawid. And Dawid inquired at Yahweh, saying, Shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, Pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all.
Mm.
So Dawid went, he and the 600 men that were with him, and came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed. But Dawid pursued, he and 400 men, for 200 abode behind, which were so faint that they could not go over the brook Besor. And they found a Mizraite in the field, and brought him to Dawid, and gave him bread, and he did eat. And they made him drink water. And they gave him a piece of cake of figs, and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his ruach came again to him, for he had eaten no bread, nor drunk any water, 3 days and 3 nights.
Mm.
And Dawid said unto him, To whom belongest thou? And whence art thou? And he said, I am a young man of Mizraim, servant to an Amalekite, and my master left me, because 3 days agone I fell sick. We made an invasion upon the south of the Cherethites, and upon the coast which belongeth to Yehuda, and upon the south of Caleb,
Mm.
and we burned Ziklag with fire. And Dawid said to him, Canst thou bring me down to this company? And he said, Swear unto me by the Most High, that thou wilt neither kill me, nor deliver me into the hands of my master, and I will bring thee down to this company. And when he had brought him down, behold, they were spread abroad upon all the earth, eating and drinking and dancing, because of all the great spoil that they had taken out of the land of the Philistines, and out of the land of Yehuda.
Mm.
And Dawid smote them for their twilight, from the twilight even unto the even of the next day.
Mm.
And there escaped not a man of them, save 400 young men, which rode upon camels and fled. And Dawid recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away, and Dawid rescued his two wives. And there was nothing lacking to them, neither small nor great, neither sons nor daughters, neither spoil, nor anything that they had taken to them. Dawid recovered all praises.
Hallelujah. You know that takes me uh in my mind while you was reading that. I started picturing Django Unchained when they took his
Mm-hmm.
wife and they put her in the, and I thought, why didn't they just kill her?
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, this is the same thing. They took these women and the children alive, and they just, now they celebrating, and then all of a sudden here come David and his men, and they smite every one of them with the sword, put
Okay.
them all down, and
Yeah.
recover it all. Man, that's a beautiful thing. Nothing lacking.
Indeed.
Yes, we just finished 19, right?
Yeah, Con, we ready for
Okay,
20.
go right ahead.
And Dawid took all the flocks and the herds which they drave before those other cattle, and said, This is Dawid's spoil. The spoils are divided. Verse 21. And Dawid came to the 200 men, check this out,
Uh,
which were so faint that they could not follow Dawid, whom they had made also to abide at the brook Besor. And they went forth to meet Dawid, and to meet the people that were with him. And when Dawid came near to the people, he saluted them. Then answered all the wicked men and men of B, of those that went with Dawid, and said, Because they went not with us, we will not give them aught of the spoil that we have recovered, save to every man his wife and his children, that they may lead them away and depart.
I,
So
I don't
it's
get
like,
nothing.
you didn't go out with us,
All
so,
right,
you can't
you get,
partake in any of this.
here's your wife and your children. That's it. That's all you get.
And go on your way.
All
Go
right.
on your way.
What were these men of evil? And he
I
answered all
think,
of them.
yeah, I think these are just men who are wicked in heart. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
con. Yeah, they was like, oh no, we're not gonna go. So they probably was like, they probably was more fearful than anything,
Mm-hmm.
because if these other had strength to go, then they should have had strength. I mean, how 200 of y'all is gonna be like, you know what, we're not going.
Yeah,
And
come.
like, yeah, so that makes sense.
All right. Verse 23. Then said Dawid, Ye shall not do so, my brethren, with that which Yahweh hath given us, who have preserved us, and delivered the company that came against us into our hand. So Dawid wasn't going for it.
Mm. And again, these things that are written beforehand are written for our learning. So what does that tell
Mm-hmm.
us? That anytime there's a time to get busy, because
Indeed.
otherwise you're not entitled to the spoils. So you know
Come.
that makes sense.
All right. Verse 24. For who will hearken unto you in this matter? But as his part is that goeth down to the battle, so shall his part be that tarrieth by the stuff. They shall part, they shall part alike. So Dawid saying, we're all gonna take equal shares.
Hmm.
You
Yep,
know.
and it's even increased because 200 of y'all get nothing.
Well, I think that's what he's saying.
Oh, he gonna
Those
give it to him.
yeah, the 200's getting some as well.
Oh, I just can't.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but
Whom
that's what
hearken
it
is this
sounds like
manner?
he's saying to me.
Whom shall hearken to you in this manner? But as he parteth, is that goes forth to battle, so shall it be that tarry by the stuff. They shall take part alike. So who tarried by the stuff?
That was the 200 that didn't go forth.
Oh, okay, kind. Wow, they got they were fortunate if that's the case, because yeah, I was really thinking they was getting nothing except
And
their wife and
come.
their children, which would have been literally would have been enough. But yeah, and consider that where they began from. They were disgruntled. They were in debt, and
Mm-hmm.
these were the downtrodden, that came to him to go against Shaul as things had not gone their way. So uh, yeah, it kind of does make sense. He was like, okay, I'll go ahead and let you. But still, I would learn. I would take that lesson because I wouldn't expect. Yeah, they're gonna give me what, like they're gonna do me like David did. Like,
Right, right.
not necessarily. You end up with nothing. So
And come. Did we get 25?
I believe so. Oh, maybe not.
Okay. Verse 25. And it was so from that day forward that he made it a statute and an ordinance for Israel unto this day. And when Dawid came to Ziklag, he sent of the spoil unto the elders of Yehuda, even to his friends, saying, Behold, present for you of the spoil of the enemies of Yahweh, to them which were in Bethel, and to them which were in South Ramoth, and to them which were in Yatir, and to them which were in Aor, and to them which were in Zipmoth, and to them which were in Eshtemoa, and to them which were in Rekah, and to them which were in the cities of the Yerahmeelites, and to them which were in the cities of the Kenites, and to them which were in Hamor, and to them which were in Kashashan, and to them which were in Atak, and to them which were in Hebron, and to all the places where Dawid himself and his men were wrought to hunt.
Halt.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All right, we're down to the last chapter in this book. So
Mhm.
let's go ahead and
Short
wrap it on up.
chapter.
Huh? Yeah,
Yep.
kind of get rid of this idol over here. Go ahead, Doc.
All right, this is the book of First Samuel, chapter 31. Shaul and his sons slain.
Mm,
Verse 1. Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines, and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa. And the Philistines followed hard upon Shaul and upon his sons, and the Philistines slew Jonathan
mm,
and Abinab, and Malak, Malak, Makalusha, Shaul's sons.
mm,
And the battle went sore against Shaul, and the archers hit him, and he was sore wounded of the archers.
mm,
Then said Shaul unto his armor bearer, Draw thy sword, and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through, and abuse me. But his armor bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore Shaul took a sword and fell upon it.
mm. So he killed himself,
Mm-hmm.
and and it's thought of, when you say do no murder, it's not restricted to yourself. It's not restricted to your, you're not absent from that. So to take your own life, which I know we read uh, Shimshon, Samson, and but Samson made a prayer, and Samson was taken down to nothing, and so the Most High gave him the ability to do what he did, uh, but Shaul, man, he really dug himself a mighty hole, a big hole, and he was just at the bottom of it, and there was no way out for him. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Verse 5. And when his armor bearer saw that Shaul was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword
Mm,
and died with him. So Shaul died, and his three sons, and his armor bearer, and all his men, that same day together.
mm.
That's what Shemuel had said was going to happen.
That's so right.
Uh,
Whew.
Verse 7. And when the men of Israel that were on the other side of the valley, and they that were on the other side of Jordan, saw that the men of Israel fled, and that Shaul and his sons were dead, they forsook the cities and fled, and the Philistines came and dwelt in them.
Mm.
So that's gonna be more work for Dawid to
Right,
clean up.
kind. Clean
He's
this
gonna go
mess
clean
up.
it up. Right.
Right, man.
Verse 8. And it came to pass on the morrow, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Shaul and his three sons fallen in Mount Gilboa. And
Slakia. It said his three sons, so they count his armor bearer as his son.
let's see. I want to say Jonathan. It was three. No, it was three sons.
It was three. I
Yeah,
thought he said two.
it's three sons. No, it was three of them that we named.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one. Abinadab and
Okay, con,
Jonathan.
con, con. Okay, my
Yep.
bad, my bad. I was thinking, okay, my bad, my bad. Okay, I got you. All right, let's
All
continue.
right. Verse 9. And they cut off his head and
Mm,
stripped off his armor and sent into the field of the Philistines round about to publish it in the house of their idols and among the people. And
mm,
they put his armor in the house of evil,
mm,
and they fastened his body to the wall of Bashan.
mm.
And when the inhabitants of Yabesh Gilead heard of that which the Philistines had done to Shaul, all the valiant men arose and went all night and took the body of Shaul and the bodies of his sons from the wall of Bashan and came to Yabesh and burnt them there. And they took their bones and buried them under a tree at Yabesh and fasted 7 days.
Phew.
God have mercy.
Oh man, that was I didn't expect that. They really did abuse his body,
Yeah, come.
and oh,
You
that
know,
was
I got this picture in my head of the from the movies. You know
mm,
how they just mutilate people's bodies and just
hmm
leave them out for display and
Phew,
hang them up and tie them up. You know.
my goodness. Yeah, that was pretty graphic, pretty graphic. So
Yeah,
um,
and it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's we know that he messed up.
yeah,
It's just hard. Shaul's fall was hard to read, like in certain
yeah.
times. You know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, because he went so far off. You know, he just went so far from the Most High, and you know, it was so painfully obvious how how far off he had gone. He had just
Hmm.
really, whew, man, it was rough. It was rough. So um, let's go ahead to with final thoughts. We'll wrap this on up. We only this only took what, hour and 20. We were hour and 21, almost 22. So
Yeah, those
you
were
know,
some. We got like three short chapters in there.
yeah, kind of some real short ones. So. Uh, you want to start it or you want me to?
Uh, I'll say this.
Mhm,
We read about these men falling, these men of Israel, falling with Shaul.
mhm.
It just makes me. We got to be fair. We got to be careful who we, or not careful. We have to watch who we follow after. You know
Kind,
what I mean?
yes,
Uh,
indeed.
you know, we read in the so-called New Testament that you will know them by their fruits.
Hmm
If I'm witnessing some of the things that have gone on with Shaul, I know he's got a evil ruach
hmm
that is plaguing him. I've got to know in my mind this is not somebody I should be following, man.
No, definitely not.
You
Especially
know,
when you got the option of David right there.
right? Uh, I think of all the running around that Dawid has done when the kingdom was his for the taking, man.
Hmm
You
Right.
know, we gotta walk in that power and that authority. You know.
hmm Kind, most definitely. And man, this was yeah, this was very interesting. A very interesting chapter. These last not chapter. I mean, this is a very interesting book, First Samuel. I look so forward to getting into Second Samuel tomorrow. Uh, just kind of recapping what we read today. We saw uh, we saw David basically have Shaul delivered into his hand and spare him, you know, show him mercy. And then we saw him go to the Philistines, and basically the Philistines where the king of the Philistines embraced him. And we also saw Shaul go and find out that it was over for him. And
Hmm.
and then we saw the Philistines, David basically try to get into the fight with the Philistines, and I believe he was going to turn on them, but I don't know how that would have went because I think this other situation with the Amalekites probably happened to keep him from doing that because that probably would have ended bad for him.
Hmm.
Uh, I believe the Most High do stuff like that. Like you ever been in a situation where you was held up and then you find out the way you was going, it was an accident.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it wasn't what the Most High wanted. You know.
Exactly, exactly. In your mind, you like, yeah, I'm gonna go this way, and it's gonna be this and that. But man, for stuff to happen the way it happens, it's like the Most High just set that thing up so perfect It's the
Mm-hmm.
only way it can go. And yeah, that's exactly what we see. So we saw them, take back what was taken, and divide it back out. And then we saw Shaul and his sons basically meet their demise, and man, they were abused by the Philistines. And man, that just show you how barbaric the Philistines were, to do what they did. And uh, big ups to the Israelites at that time, going to take back, the men of Israel,
Mm-hmm.
and bring them to back to their place. And yeah, so we'll get into chapter or book number 2 of Samuel tomorrow, Abba willing. Uh, Anything else to add, Doc? Or is that
Nah, all praises to the Most High, man, for like you said, these things were written for our learning.
current? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's the whole purpose of this, is for us to learn and really improve and understand exactly what's happening at that time. I was so looking forward to getting into this history. Some of these verses um, I had not read straight through like this, and it's been edifying. It's been very edifying. Start from uh, the very first book, Bereshit or Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 1, and to this point. So
Mm-hmm.
we just knocking these books out, and it's really been a barakah. It's been a blessing
Indeed.
to be able to do that. So with that being said, tomorrow again at 1, we will begin, and you guys will see us somewhere around there, around maybe two-ish, as we'll do our devotion and whatnot as we get into this book, once again, for our edification and for the esteem of our power. So
All
with that, I
praises.
give hallelujah. Yes, indeed. Looking forward to it, indeed. But with that, give all praise, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, Yahushua HaMashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the 4 quarters of the earth. I say Shalom Wabarukim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together, and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High Power, under one covenant. Until that day, Shalom, family.
Shalom, shalom, family.